up with the big boy and the big three in the conference. So the first two games went great. I think Chad was very happy with total play altogether, and the penalties were down on the first game, and then second game, then the penalties picked up a little bit with the rivalry game, of course, in which they took care of that with a running clock, and then you run into the big beast like Perrysburg, and then you run into the next beast like Toledo Whitmer, and then the third leg of that obviously is Findlay. So, I don't think he was very happy what happened last week, but he looks forward, and the kids, they like Findlay. That's their big rival.
Right.
And that's their big thing. Back when I played it with Sandusky. But it's now Findlay. But I think overall that he's happy with progression the way it goes.
Right.
And he didn't have a running back last week, so one of the running back only decided to play defense only. Chad said he was going to hold him out.
Oh, okay.
So in which he did. So by the time you get to that third, the fifth game, when you have those big teams, we're normally really hurting.
Right.
We're beat up. And I'm sure he'll say something about the same thing. I was real happy, and I think he's been happy with. Not many teams have been able to run the football on us. It seems like positive things have been happening with the opponents, whether it's special teams,
right?
Okay, which we saw. That opened up against Sandusky and Fremont, opening kickoff.
And what was the kid's name?
I don't know.
Ship.
He cramped up.
Ship Jr.
Yeah, Ship Jr. He cramped up in the third quarter, and he never did come back.
Right.
But
he's been playing since then because it was just a cramp.
Sure. But he was out, and that just took the sails, the wind right out of their sails. But I think they've done a very good job, and I just don't. Our defense has done a great job in stopping the run. It seems like it's a little bit more in the pass, and we saw a little bit about that last week.
We are here at Frickers in Fremont, Ohio. It's the Frickers of Fremont High School Football Coaches Show. Come on out and join us. Kids eat free each and every night here at Frickers. We are going to talk Woodmore football coming up. Scott's filling in for Josh Waring. He was supposed to be our first guest here tonight, but I don't see him, so Scott's filling in. And then we'll get into Woodmore football here this evening. The Wildcats off to a 4-0 start. But it is Findlay week. Is this homecoming week?
No.
They're saving that for later in the year?
Napoleon.
Okay, week 9.
Week 9.
We're in this weird time now where homecoming usually happens after week 6 or 7.
Right.
Because we start so early.
Yes.
Although Perkins is actually having their homecoming with Bellevue this week. So
that should be a good game.
It's really early, though. For homecoming.
It is early. Here you are still in the
middle of
September. And like you said, normally things happen in October, but strange in scheduling, and so forth. But I look for a competitive football game Friday night.
Well, Findlay is off to, a 3-1 start. Pretty much the last two opponents that Ross has played. Perrysburg's now 3-1, Whitmer's now 3-1, and now Findlay 3-1. And by the way, all three of those schools are also Division I schools. And this is kind of what you were talking about, the gauntlet part of the schedule. Be nice to kind of get that broken up just a little bit.
Yeah, and people who listened last week, if they listened, I'm going to project, and I'll say it again right here, that Fremont Ross will beat Findlay.
Okay.
Friday night at Don Paul Stadium.
But you do say this every year, Scott Logan. You know that, right?
Yeah, I've got a pretty good record. Not against necessarily Findlay, but Sandusky for sure.
Okay.
The last 5 years, I think.
Well, when you predict something's going to happen every year, eventually it will happen.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite Findlay-Ross memory has to be they were down 20 in the third quarter. Hayden Lehman was the quarterback. Mm-hmm. They scored one, which Hayden never ran for long distances, but the first score was like a 45, 50-yard run. And I'm like, okay, down 2 scores. Ross scores again. Down 1 score. They score with no time left. They go for 2, win the game. I go crazy. That's one of my favorite memories. That and beating Whitmer for the first time in many years. So.
Yes, and if you notice, both those games happened at home.
Yes, at Don Paul.
And that night you're talking about, the Findlay game was Pete's Boys night.
Yep.
And you looked over, I'll never forget, because I looked, there was a lot of people in the stands, and all of a sudden we were down by what, 20?
21.
I think it
you
was.
You scored 22
Yeah.
to win, right?
Yeah, so then I looked around and I saw people leaving. I'm like, where are they going? So then all of a sudden, then we kicked off after we scored,
Right.
and I was literally 4 yards from the half, and the guy had the ball in his hands, and it's almost like somebody came from up and under the ground and raked the guy, and the ball jumped out. It's like
So Pete did that?
Pete did that. I think Pete, at that time, Pete's presence was well known, and then all of a sudden the roar from the crowd, and all of a sudden I look, and 10 minutes later, everybody that had left, that was
They're all back,
they're
aren't
all
they?
back,
Yep.
you know. But no, that was definitely a good time, and then that year that we beat Whitmer was also a good time.
By the way, Finley and Ross will be right here on Eagle 99 on Friday night. Scott will have the call with Tim Boulware, and I will be at Port Clinton this week with Nick for Clyde at Port Clinton. And we'll talk Clyde football coming up with Matt Fluelling in just a little bit. A little programming change next week. We were supposed to do Ross at Toledo Scott, but, well, we'd have to sit outside, and who knows what's going to happen. So we're now doing Margaretta at Woodmore, which that's going to be an excellent game next week at Woodmore. Woodmore right now undefeated. I think Margaretta's 3-1 right now, so that should be a really good
Yeah.
matchup in the SBC. So Finley this week for Ross, and then Scott, and then you end up with those 4 conference games at the end. And obviously, you know, a top 8 seed, is that what the Little Giants are looking for this year?
Yeah, that would be the key thing, obviously, because then you secure one or two things: a bye,
Right.
or a home field,
Or a home game,
or
yep.
a home game. So that's obviously something. If you ask Chad about tonight, he's going to go, well, "What? Oh, we're where? Oh, well, he's just worried about the next game."
Right.
You know, that's all he's worried about. The kids and everybody else like us in the media, we like to talk about those
Like to
things.
look ahead, don't we?
We like to look ahead, and I'm just as guilty as the next guy.
Well, you got Southview and then Springfield, Napoleon at home, and Bowling Green. The good thing is you'll have 3 of the 5 home games done, but your last 2 are at home, and that's always nice. to
Yeah,
end
that
the
is
year.
always nice. Bowling Green not having such a successful year this year. I don't think they've won a game yet.
They're 1-3.
Napoleon always plays Fremont Ross tough. I don't care if it was back during the GLL days or in the conference arena. It seems to always be a tough game.
When you've looked at Finley, and I'm sure you've already looked at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's their MO?
They got at least one, if maybe not 2. They like to run the football.
Okay.
And I think that Chad will tell you, and I've seen a couple of things that they've been through a few quarterbacks this year already. They did lose the one starter, who ended up transferring to Oregon Clay.
Okay.
He's the starter there at Clay. And
Usually they don't lose starters. They
yeah, and they normally can
transfer
recruit,
in. Yeah, recruit. Yep.
or transfer in. But
Well, Finley's in such a nice area
Yeah.
to get kids to, because really there's nothing else.
no, that's true.
You go south
Right?
to Lima
Yep.
or north to Toledo, but
Yep.
Finley's its own little burg there,
Yeah, they're right in the middle.
right on
They're right in the middle.
75. So
But they like to, looks like, run the football, and they're a very well disciplined team. But like I said, they've been through a few quarterbacks since the beginning of the season. So, you know, there again, I think they've won their last 2. They barely, I can't remember if they beat Lima or Lima beat them.
I'm pretty sure they
can't
beat
remember.
Lima
They
was
beat
one of their
Lima.
wins when
Okay.
I looked at that earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that being said, I think that from what I've seen, it's there again. You got to play Fremont Ross football. You got to play smart football and stay away from the doggone penalties.
Right.
And I think they'll be very successful come Friday night.
Be 2-0 in rivalry games. That would be nice.
Yeah, not just that. Plus, you're going to pick up a ton of computer points when you're beating a D1 team.
Right.
You know, that's for sure. So, you know, I did talk to Chad earlier in a couple of the other segments that we had, and you know, hey, it's very possible they could go 8-2, and you know, and it starts with Friday night.
Right.
So, and
One
yes,
week at a time.
1 week at a time, and the Cardinal division obviously is still up for grabs because it's awfully early, and the whole idea with the Cardinal division is getting through the bigger division,
Right.
and getting through healthy.
You know, it's funny looking at the schedule. Scott, Toledo City School is actually a Division III opponent. How does that work? I know
don't
you
know.
don't know
I don't
either,
know.
but
I don't know.
because I
That's
swear
interesting.
Start
Is
is Division I or II.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, right.
So how can they have that much fewer kids
don't
go
know.
to Toledo Scott than Toledo Start? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Just like how can Central Catholics now what? D4, Division 4,
Well,
or
they
3?
That's a good one. We don't I see them all the time,
Yeah,
so I don't
right,
keep
right.
up
I
with
think
that.
they went down again
Ooh,
what's Clyde is what, 3?
4.
They're 4.
Clyde's now 4.
So-
Bellevue's 4.
Okay, Central Catholic, I believe, is 3 this year.
Okay. So
And
that
that-
would be like Columbian's a 3.
Right.
Norwalk
Yes.
is a 3.
Yes.
So
Yes.
some of the bigger schools there in the SBC. Well, Scott, I'll have you back in about a half hour. We'll talk
Okay.
more Ross football with Chad Long. Also going to talk to the captains of the Little Giants. But when we come back, we're going to talk Woodmore football with head coach Scott Stecker. It is Frickers of Fremont High School Football Coaches Show here on this Wednesday night. Kyle Knight, your host. And, of course, we invite you to stop on in. Kids always eat free here at Frickers, not just in Fremont, but everywhere for Frickers. And we'll see you back in just a couple minutes here on Eagle 99 and live on YouTube. In Fremont, my first official guest is going to be Josh Waring, head football coach of St. Joe. The streaks right now at 2-2, coming off a shootout to Chalker. Yeah. Wow, 62-44. But that's 8-man football. That's like a defensive struggle a little bit. But let's talk about the game.
You know, there's a lot of things you have to do to win a game, and you got to win the turnover battle, which we did not do. You know, our quarterback threw for 369 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. But when it comes down to it, you have to be able to stop the run, and, you know, in big plays, and we were unable to do that. We had a lot of big plays ourselves, but a lot of missed tackles. That's really our Achilles heel when it comes to it. We are not a big, you know, in traditional terms, a big team. Our kids are fast and they play their guts out, but we're just not a big physical team. We've got, you know, a couple guys that you could say that in the traditional, you know, aspect of it, but we're a fast team, and you know, I think that's why we can, you know, we average right around 40 points a game,
Right.
And we're able to put some numbers up.
Well, defensively, last 2 weeks you give it up 14 and 12, so that's got to be a little disappointing after coming off performances like that.
The nice thing is when we get up on teams, we're able to put some of our, you know, guys less experienced, you know, maybe they get scored on here and there. And that's really, you know, when we get scored on in the last 3 games, really, you know, even our first game, you know, that's 2 touchdowns were against our second team.
Against Danbury in the first game.
So, yeah, I mean, but, you know, we just have to stop the run, period. And that's really what we need to do. And we're getting better. I mean, the kids are playing their guts out. I mean, they really are. They're playing very hard for us. And they're flying around.
Is it a containment thing or people?
Well, you know, 3 failures with the defense. Number one is alignment, and it's not an alignment issue. Number two is setting the edge. We've been inconsistent at that. There's times we're great. There's times we are not.
Okay.
And missed tackles, and that's the biggest one. And once again, we missed tackles in our first game in our loss. We missed tackles in our most recent loss, and so that's really what we have to focus on. And that's and the kids are up to it, and did a good job at practice today.
I'm
So,
sure a lot of tackling drills
yeah,
this
we
week.
do drills all the time. Yeah.
Well, they're kids, right?
Well, yeah.
Holgate for week
Yes.
5.
Yep.
What do you know about them this week?
A new coach, and we played them very tough last year in a monsoon. It was that week, and we played tough. They're big. They're much physically larger than us. We're going to use our speed to our advantage in a lot of situations. So that's really, I would expect more numbers, and we just have to tackle. We have to gang tackle. We have to pursuit. Have pursuit, and we got to swarm to the ball defensively.
Talk about in 8-man football,
Yep.
the difference between being quick or big. Obviously, I would think you want to be quick because of the speed of the game.
It is, yeah. I mean, speed speed kills. I was told that one of the Chalker players was, I don't know, like the division. Well, now they have all the Division 4 track athlete.
Okay.
I don't know if he won state in the 100 but they had some very fast athletes. They didn't have a lot of numbers, but the product they put on the field was good.
And the top 4 teams
Yeah.
make playoffs, correct?
Correct.
And you're sitting in that 4 position right now.
Yeah. Yep. And this game really comes. The Holgate game. You can speculate all you want, but it really looks like it's going to come down to us and Holgate.
Okay.
Man, that's
For
what it
that
looks
4th
like.
spot.
For that 4th spot. Yep.
And obviously, I think the first 2 are locked in between Danbury and St.
I would
Mary's.
say so.
They
I would
seem to
think
be
so.
doing really well this
Yep.
year. You won't see St. Mary's till next week, but
Correct.
obviously both of them, I believe they're both undefeated, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, as I saw
They
that.
play each other this week too.
Oh, that's
I believe.
great.
Yeah.
Do you know where that one's at?
I do not.
Okay. That'll be a good one this week. But like we said, top 4 teams make the playoffs, and it'll be a 1-4-2-3,
Yep.
and then you end up with a state champion. So Holgate, then at St. Mary, at
Yep.
Stryker,
Yes.
Kennedy Catholic, Danbury at Cardinal Stritch.
Yes.
Where is Holgate?
Holgate is pretty much due west. It's in the western part of the. I think it's south of Defiance or Napoleon,
Okay.
right that area.
Oh, right here. So St. Mary's and Danbury are both 4-0. Now
Yep.
they're 3-0 in the conference in the
Correct.
Northern 8. Chalkers 2-0. Now you've played all 4 conference games. Do you have a?
Actually, we have not because
Okay.
the second time that we played Danbury, that's our conference game.
So you're technically 2-1 in the conference then, and 2-2 overall.
Yep.
And then we talked about Holgate at 1-1,
Yes.
McKinley at 1-2, Stryker 0-3, and Cardinal Stritch at 0-4. How's the health right now, Coach?
We couldn't be better. We're fully healthy and everybody's ready to go.
Great. Josh Waring, we're talking St. Joe 8-man football as they get ready to play this week against Holgate. And that game, I think we have that one right here on Eagle 99
you're right.
Saturday night because BG's playing earlier in the day. So we'll see you for the 3rd time, I believe, this year. Nick will have that call on Saturday night. Yep, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock kick because BG is earlier in the day. So it's going to be awesome having St. Joe football. Talk about some of your kids that have stood out at this point.
Our quarterback, Zach Ohms, has really, stood out. And I knew and I had a good feeling that he would step out or, step up this year, leading the offense. I think he's, we've thrown for 880 yards so far this season.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we're averaging 220 yards in the air per game and 180 on the ground.
Okay.
Over 400 yards of offense per game.
That's pretty balanced.
It is, actually. But, obviously we'd like to run the ball more. But the nice thing is we have athletes, and we can take what the defense gives us. And that's, that's how we're structured. So, but, Zach Ohms has done a great job. Liam Thiessen, I mean, he had a 230 yards receiving last game. So he's a favorite target. And there's a lot of guys. Ethan Grawl has been very consistent on defense and offense.
Okay.
And Andrew Spieldenner, has done very well. We get one of our captains back. He was gone for a game and a half, and we get to have him full strength again. And so
Was that a targeting kind of thing? Or?
it possibly.
Okay, yeah, I want to fake target.
He's back to full health, and
Okay.
we are ready. We're ready to go. There's no excuses, and and some of the younger guys, when they get in there, are starting to make some, impressions as well. We might start a freshman or so this year or this week actually. So, there's good things coming.
You're halfway through, so
Yes.
technically they're half a freshman.
Indeed.
Half a
I
sophomore
agree.
or whatever you want
Yeah.
to say. All right, Coach. Well, thank you for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. And we'll have your game on Saturday against Holgate, and then the big one next week at St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Always love to play them, don't you?
They have not given up a point this season.
Are you serious?
That is correct.
Wow.
And you watch film, you know why.
Well, they got numbers. I will say
They
that.
do. Yep.
That's for one. I drove by. I think I told you that. I drove
Yeah.
by, and there were like 40-some kids.
Yeah,
It
that's
seemed
correct.
like anyway,
Yeah.
so which is a lot for an 8-man school. So
They will graduate quite a bit, but that's next year. We
Right.
got to worry about this year.
you got to worry
So-
about this year, right?
And we
So-
scrimmaged them well. So we look forward to it.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck.
Sir, thank you.
And
Appreciate
we'll
it.
have the game this Saturday and head on out to Don Paul and watch some St. Joe football. We'll be back. We're going to talk Woodmore football
Very
with
good, sir.
undefeated head coach Scott Stecker right here on Eagle 99 WFRO and live on YouTube. And welcome back into Frickers in Fremont. Kids eat free each and every night right here at Frickers. And we're back talking Woodmore football. Coach Scott Stecker is going to join us now. The undefeated Wildcats off to a 4-0 start with wins over North Central, Montpelier, Fostoria, and then a nice win last week to open up conference play with Lakota 42-6. So, Coach, since this is the first time I've talked to you here at the show, just talk about your 4-0 start, and obviously can't do any better than that.
No, we'll take that. We'll take that. This year we've brought back some kids that's been really good for us, and I think that we've changed defenses. So kudos to Coach Strong and the defensive staff for, implementing this four-front system that's put our D-line in a better position, with an extra guy there per se, to move around some, and then we can, cover behind it. So they've been doing a great job, naturally looking at the scores there. That 6 points last week was from a, return, kickoff return, which we kind of screwed that up. But other than that, defense is playing lights out, and we've been getting our breaks and getting some timely touchdowns on offense too.
Well, Coach, you've given up 12 points, so and
Yeah.
if one of those was on special teams,
It
you're
was.
doing great
It was
so
great.
far.
Yep.
And you're averaging, we'll ballpark it around 45, 46-ish a game offensively.
Yeah.
So obviously things are clicking that way as well. So coming into the year, obviously you must have known this is going to be a special group at Woodmore.
It is a special group. You know, we've got quite a few seniors, you know, and kudos to all of them. And I know I'll probably leave somebody out here, but I don't want to. But
Actually, I
you
think
got them
I
all
can
here?
help you.
Well, we got 8 of them. So, I mean,
There you go, Coach.
Well, I'll just go off. But, you know, Landon's, special running back, naturally. And we've got 2 good wings, Jesse Lopez is doing really well. I mean, he's fast. He's a wing for us. We've got gosh, you make me. I'm thinking captains and numbers.
That's
When
all right.
the officials ask me. But Michael Seeger's been playing wing. He's at tight end. He's played tailback. He's played everywhere for us right now. Caught a couple touchdown balls already for us. Has done very well. Some interior linemen, Ryan Maynard, Bailey Jenduzak, and also Allgaier, Bradley Allgaier. Those 4 linemen are doing really good for us. We've got a mix. Gosh, I know if I'm getting for guys here, but our quarterback, Lipstraw, he's only a junior, but he's been brought back too. I know I've left somebody out, but I can't remember. But anyhow, good group of seniors. Oh, Aiden Smith, another player that, actually, bless his heart, last year he was ineligible but stayed out for every practice being ineligible.
Really?
Got to play 1 game, which is a playoff game last year, and now he's back out at a guard too. So it's a tight group of kids. They're playing with each other, for each other, and you can see that. It's not just about the W. It's more than that, and they figured that out.
It's the process of getting there. You have Willard coming up this week, and then you'll host Margaretta in your next home game next week. By the way, we'll have that Margaretta Woodmore game on Eagle 99 next Friday night. I actually get to call that game, one of my rare Eagle games.
It'll be good.
I'll be my second time over at Woodmore doing football, so that'll be fun next Friday night. But this week, obviously, Willard, they're off to a 2-2 start, kind of an up and down year for
Yes.
the Streaks so far.
Yep, up and down. But you know what? They're 180 from us night and day. We're a run team oriented,
Right.
pro set under center. They're 5-wide spread. They do what they do well, and they concentrate on that. And, they're – I'm going to say if they're better at one thing or another, they're better offensively than defensively because they concentrate a lot on that because
Okay.
it's timing stuff, naturally in a spread system. So if we can slow that down, with our forefront, play defense behind it, and some coverages, then we'll be fine, and keep the ball away from them.
I want to get back to your forefront because I see a lot of 3-3s or
Yes.
3-4s in
Yep.
high school football with a lot of 5 defensive back.
Right.
So why is 4 down linemen seem to be working so well for you?
Well, our 3 down linemen last year, our 3 front guys were good, but we thought this year with possibly getting away from, adding that extra linebacker, so to speak, in a 3-4 versus a 4-3, we'd use and utilize our guys down at an end position versus a linebacker
Okay.
position. So that's kind of how we just shifted that a little bit, and it's
Okay.
worked out really well because we've got some speed guys on the edges, and we've got our good interior guys still there left from the 3 last year. So
Back when you and I played high school football, there was we had 5 defensive linemen.
sometimes 6.
We had a monster.
Yeah.
Did
yeah.
you guys have that monster
yeah.
position too?
Yep.
Well, of course, nobody threw the ball back when we played.
No.
I always tell kids at school, our game started at 8 o'clock, and we were done before you guys are done now.
Oh, sure.
Because we ran the ball, and nobody threw it till the end.
Well, that's the gray hair in my head. I mean, I'm still running the ball. Still can't get out of that phase. So
There's nothing wrong with that.
It is not.
It's actually becoming more and more. I see it more often now. Less of the spread and more traditional I formation. Not a ton, but more and more we're starting to see that.
right, and we've been a traditional wing single back set formationally because things do come back around again. But if you are in a league like when we played the 2 teams out west, the first 2 games, everything's spread out there.
Right.
And here we come running a power football game out of the eye, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right, what is this?
Yeah, we can't, we don't defend this
Right.
thing. Or, like last year we played a team, it's like, oh, you're running a junior high offense. Well, let's see. And they found out quick it
Right.
was, power football. So you see a lot of teams going back to it. I've seen Ohio State in the eye. I've seen a couple other teams, pro guys are still in the eye. But, the single back sets, the tight bunches, we run multiple formations. So it's hard to defend not knowing what formation we're going to be running this coming week or, whatever.
Well, Coach Stecker joining me now from Woodmore as the Wildcats off to a 4-0 start, getting ready to play Willard. Then they'll be home to Margaretta. The rest of their schedule looks like this: at Gibsonburg, at Northwood, home to Calvert, and then they'll end the year with Hopewell Loudon, and that's October the 24th. Obviously, top 12 seeds make the playoffs, but do you like going back to where we're getting out of the 16 seeds this year?
Most definitely.
Yes, me too.
It's just, in football, it's always been you earn it. And the 1 year, the COVID year, everybody was in.
Everybody made it, yep.
And then the 16 thing is like, it's all, it's all about the money. But I think too, with the 12 team, it's back to being fair. I mean, back when probably you and I played, it was A, double A,
and
triple A.
Yes, correct.
And only one team went out of a region.
Right.
So, now we're kind of at past a happy median, but I like it better. And now after Willard, not saying, we're not looking past Willard. Like I said, Willard is good at what they do, but we get into the meat grinder.
Yeah,
part
you
of,
do.
It's a meat grinder. The
Yep.
last 5 games, so that'll determine whether we can make it to the playoffs or
Right.
not. How we play those teams.
Boy,
So.
this year, the SBC's had up years and down years, but this is a good one
Oh yeah, there's
in the River Division.
Margaretta's going to be good. Hopewell's always good. Calvert, Gibsonburg, Northwood's been in attack, but they've always been dominant in attack. So there's not an easy game the last 5 games.
No,
there's not.
In fact, two of the teams are 3-1 right now. One's 4-0.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's going to be a meat grinder down the stretch. But again, you'll have Willard coming up this week. So when is homecoming, Coach?
It is when you're there.
Oh,
It'll be a Margaretta game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Scott and I were kind of talking about homecoming, how it's traditionally getting later because we start so much earlier.
Right.
I actually, I'm a building sub at Perkins. Their homecomings this week with Bellevue, which seems really early.
Yeah.
Because what is it, the 17th today or something like that?
Still, yeah, it's
It's
early.
really early for
is.
homecoming, but it's week 5. It's hard to believe we're halfway through.
It's crazy, and if you consider 2-a-days and throw that in the
Yes.
mix, we're over half done.
Right.
And like I told the kids, you're as seniors, you're only guaranteed 10 games. And you're halfway through. You're going to be halfway through here. So, sense of urgency, sense of, you want to get some things done. You want to make it to the playoffs. It's time to amp up every rep, in practice and games and get better.
Plus, these seniors are doing what kids at Woodmore haven't done for quite a long time in football, right?
No, all the credit to the, our coaching staff and the kids. But last year when they had a winning season, it's first in 12 years, and
It was a long time. yeah.
playoffs like 24, 25 years.
Right.
And I somebody said the other day, like, have they ever been back to back? And somebody said no. I don't know. But
Right.
I'm not jumping out ahead of things, but
right.
I told the kids, we need to be at least 7-3 to make the playoffs. So you look at that back half of the schedule. We got to win this Friday, and then we got to get at least 2 or 3 more wins to secure a playoff berth. So it's tough. We got a tough road to hoe, coming up.
Well, and next year it'll just be the SBC.
It'll be that. Yeah, we're looking for some games to pick up next year. So I think.
No, I'm just saying it's been nice not to say like Lake, River, Bay,
Yeah, it's just-
whatever it is. It's just SBC.
It's weird. Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, it is.
This thing just keeps growing, but that's okay. It's a fun league right now, and the Woodmore Wildcats. How many years have you guys been part of the Sandusky Bay Conference? Is this 4 years now, maybe 3?
I think it is 4.
Okay.
I believe
It
it's
hasn't
2
been
years,
that long, but
2 years before I got there. I
It's a
think they were
great
in.
fit though for
It
Woodmore.
is. It's a great fit for all the schools that are in that.
Right.
Margaretta's a little bit further east, but other than that, everybody's right there.
Right.
Kind of almost like the old NLL or something like
Right,
that, or
yeah.
something like that.
And all the schools are of comparable size to each other. That's what's
Yes.
nice,
Yep.
So
It is.
6 and 7 division schools. So,
Yep.
well, Coach, I am really looking forward to seeing you next Friday night. Good luck this week against Willard, and we'll see you against Margaretta on Eagle 99 next week.
Bring it. Hope you bring luck to us. That's for sure.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
was there
Thank you.
a couple years ago. I was there, and you won.
Good. There we go.
In overtime.
But
So-
it doesn't matter. A win's a win.
A win's a win.
Especially against Margaretta. A win's a win.
So there you go.
There
All
we
right,
go.
we'll
Thank
get
you.
to that.
Thanks
All
for
right,
having
Coach.
me.
Thank
Thanks.
you. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk more high school football. Up next on the show, we're going to talk Clyde football with Matt Flewelling. You are watching and listening to the Frickers of Fremont High School Football Coaches Show live from Frickers in Fremont. Hey, welcome back into Frickers in Fremont. Don't forget the high school or the Major League Baseball playoffs will be coming up here in October. The Guardians are trying to fight their way in right now. They're playing the Tigers up 1-0 in the top of the fourth. You can watch that right here at Frickers in Fremont. Also, of course, our high school football coaches show each and every Wednesday night. Kids always eat free. And it's time to talk Clyde football with Matt Flewelling, assistant coach for the Flyers. And Coach, you went up to the Glass Bowl last week and fell to St. Francis. I believe you were up 3-0.
No, we were down at halftime 19-3.
Okay. At least ScoreStream had you at one point. But, yeah, it's always
Hey,
wrong. But, yeah.
Hey, any luck and help we can get.
Well,
it's
ScoreStream had
appreciated.
you up at one point. But anyway, so talk about the game with St. Francis.
Well, when we signed them a few years ago, they were maybe on a little downward trend, and they got a new coach in there. And, they got a lot of kids come in, and it's a way different team than it was when we probably signed with them. In fact, they had a freshman quarterback and another freshman receiver that contributed and started, and just not a very good matchup for us right now. And it kind of is what it is. You play the teams that are on your schedule, and you go at it. And we didn't back down, but across the board, we were pretty well outmanned. But we competed. They tacked one on late with about 4 minutes ago that made it a running clock. So,
And St. Francis, you alluded to it. It's one of these schools that they're a Catholic school, obviously. They do recruit in the city, so from year to year they
don't recruit at all.
they tend to be a little different. But obviously this year much more athletic. They were coming off. Was it the week before they had defeated Perkins before playing you that week, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so can we go back to the Ashland game? Yeah, 21-21 game 2 weeks ago. They have a really good quarterback, tall, lanky dude.
Going to Appalachian State.
Yeah,
he's got a couple Big Ten offers.
He can
He's
throw
pretty
that
good.
rock, can't he? Yeah, I mean, he's okay with his feet. He's effective running the ball, but he's really a pocket passer. But you guys did a good job with him. You were scoring with him. It was 21-21 and a half, but a key mistake going into the end zone kind of cost you there.
Yeah, we turned it over going into the end zone, and they recovered it and made a couple plays and scored and, kind of deflated us. We have to be almost a perfect football team right now. We can't turn the ball over. We can't have negative plays, and each one of our games we've had some major negative plays that have just hurt our chances of winning football games, and our margin of error is not that great with the group we have. Our kids are working hard. I've said this before. If we've had a different group over the years with an 0-4 start, we'd have kids quitting left or right, but they've come out every day enthusiastic, trying to get better, doing what they can to get better, and they know that we're behind them. You got two of the teams are 3-1, one's 4-0, and start we had two guys go down in the first. We didn't even have a defensive possession, and our one starting linebacker got hurt, and then the other one got banged up. So we're down pretty thin pretty quick, and some inexperience showed there. But hey, that's all in the past, and we're on to Port Clinton.
Yeah, talk about the Redskins. They're off to a 3-1 start. They have the Pinkleton kid, I see. Very good. And
good running back.
Yeah.
They have some size up front. It's the best team we play all week, and and we've kind of focused on that and trying to get better, do what we can on offense, do what we can on defense to limit them, and then play solid in the special teams. And again, 3-1 record coming in. They're going to be very confident. We're going over there, and we'll see what we can do. Each week's a new week, and we've said, right now I think we're playing teams right now that are a lot more like us than some of the schools that we've played already.
Right.
Especially the last 2 weeks. We don't have Division I kids all over the field, college type prospects, and we're playing teams now that are more like us. Okay. And, we've made a comment. We play with kids from Clyde and Green Springs, and,
Right.
Maybe a occasional open enrollment kid from Fremont, but we don't get a lot of kids come in, and we always say that about Bellevue. You play Bellevue, you're going to play Bellevue kids.
Right.
With St. Francis, man.
You don't know who you're playing, right, at that point.
we're not dumb. We see the rosters that change from year to year.
Well,
and,
when I did Ross football those years, when you did the city schools, their rosters totally overhauled from year to year.
The city
so.
schools, I give Start a lot of credit because Start had a lot of kids that have been there for 3 years. And a lot of times, for whatever reason, they might transfer to Whitmer or to St. Francis or to Central Catholic and whatever. But, Start has done a good job, and they've been competitive in their games. They just came up short in 3 of them. They lost to Norwalk in overtime, and they got beat by 1 by Northview. And, and they're fighting a different battle than what we're fighting every week. But, again, it's high school football. It's not life or death, but, we want to try to put our best effort every week. And, we got a challenging schedule from here out, too. I mean, it doesn't get any easier with Port Clinton being 3-1 this week.
And with Norwalk, they had 5 turnovers. Start had 5 turnovers in that game. And it took overtime for Norwalk to win that one as well. So Perkins, after this week, then you have Edison, Sandusky at Columbia and at Norwalk. So technically, you start conference play next week at Perkins. This is a crossover game with Port Clinton. We talked about Pinkelton. Their quarterback, Landon Less. I believe he's a freshman.
Sophomore.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you know about him?
Good pocket passer, good athlete. They have a couple good athletes on the outside, and their offensive line are good-sized kids too. So we've got our work cut out for us, but I think we should be able to compete a little bit more for 4 quarters this week, if that makes any sense. At times, we're just overmanned at some spots, and it kind of is what it is. And we kind of knew that going in. Our kids weren't afraid or intimidated or anything like that. But, sometimes you just come across that.
Right.
I think St. Francis has made some leaps and bounds, and, they're going to start pushing Central Catholic in terms of competitiveness and so forth down the road.
Matt Flewelling joining us from the Clyde Flyers as they get ready to play Port Clinton this week. We'll have that game on 92.1. The Wolf. Nick and I will be over at Port Clinton for the first of 2 times. We'll have Bellevue there later on this year as well, and then we'll have Bellevue in 2 weeks here on 92.1 The Wolf. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming over. And real quick, so their top tackler, Gavin Cornell, 35 tackles on the year.
Yep, he's a wrestler.
Okay. Hector Garza, I noticed he's up in the 50s already. But that kid is just a tackling machine, is he not?
With the game they had with Collinwood, it was kind of I know they had they ran the clock nonstop from second quarter on, and they played shortened quarters.
Okay, so he didn't get his normal stats.
You got to kind of look at some of those games, and I know they played a lot of their JV kids because they probably didn't have a JV game the next day or a freshman game.
Right.
So, and that's one of the things, too. This week, Port Clinton only has a freshman team, so we are actually traveling to Alariah Catholic to play our JV game this week.
All right, well.
We were able to sign that this week.
It's the day and age we're living in, right? Trying to find JV games now.
Yeah, trying to find some JV games, yep.
All right, Matt. Well, good luck this week, and we'll see you over at Port Clinton.
Appreciate it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You'll have that game on 92.1 The Wolf, WOHF. When we come back, we'll talk Ross football, and we'll talk with the captains and head coach Chad Long right here from Frickers in Fremont. Football with head coach Chad Long. The Little Giants now 2-2 on the year, coming off a loss to Toledo Whitmer 27-6 on Friday. This week it will be Findlay homecoming week out at Don Paul Stadium. Coach, let's talk about Whitmer from last week. Obviously, still in their meat grind with your Division I opponents, but your thoughts on Whitmer?
Very sloppy. 7-0 at halftime. Feeling pretty good. And, I think we kill ourselves more than anything with penalties. We'll have a play, it gets called back. We'll get a first down, it gets called back. We'll jump off sides on defense when it's like 4th and 5, and we'll give up a first down. It's just like little things like that that we're really killing ourselves. And, we really just got to focus in and play good football. And Whitmer, I think we could have won that game, and we just killed ourselves at certain times throughout the game.
Obviously, practice this week been pretty good.
Yeah,
for Findlay.
Yep, it's been great. We don't really have to say or do much. Everyone knows it's Findlay week, and there's a lot of dislike between the two. So,
well, you're lucky to have two rivals you dislike.
Yeah.
And you've already beaten one of them, so going for the sweep.
Yep, might as well.
You might as well. That was a fun game. Scott and I did the Sandusky game, of course. It was 14-14, and you just blew the door off of that one.
Are you going to be at this one?
No. I'm sorry, buddy.
Jeez.
I know.
I only go where they tell me to go. You know that, right? So.
Yeah.
But I'll be there.
Well, good.
I did talk about my favorite Findlay memory, the 22-point comeback. Yes.
The one you were going crazy on. That was exciting.
Now, how old would these guys have been? What year was that? 20? It was before COVID. So 20?
16. No, it wasn't 16. It was
17?
17. I think it was 17. 17 or 18. Because it was your third year, I'm thinking.
How old were you guys in 2017?
It's not a math quiz.
I don't
know.
Okay.
10?
10 years old?
All right, so like fourth grade they were.
I couldn't even have Cole as our water boy or ball boy. He couldn't.
He was out.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, that was a while back. So we did have to drop the Scott game next week because of the press box situation there.
What?
Well, and then Southview, Springfield, Napoleon, and Bowling Green here on Eagle 99. Scott, Logan,
Yes.
our wonderful. I used to say sideline guy, but now our color commentator for Ross football.
for Ross, for a little bit of St. Joe. Yep.
What's your questions for Coach Long?
Coach Long, from week 1 to week 2, you did see an improvement, other than the penalties and so forth on week 2.
Yep.
Going into week 3, that was pretty much a well-dominated team, Perrysburg.
Yeah.
And then last week, I think I talked to you before the game. I don't think we were sure who was exactly going to be quarterback. Was that who you were expecting to quarterback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So he got healthy, obviously, because he had the Guardian cap on and the whole 9 yards. And I thought actually the first half, even though it was a sloppy half, was a good half for Fremont.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had 3 turnovers from the defensive side in the first half, and we were playing really good. Here's the situation: we got to get first downs on offense and keep our defense off the field. They're on the field way too long, and they're a really good defense. And they'll scrap with the best of them and the biggest of them, and eventually we got worn down. And that's a big offensive line that we won against, and they eventually just wore us down. And we got to do a better job on the offensive side.
Special teams wise, really haven't had a chance to shine as much or get a chance to use the field goal kicker or anything like that, other than you're obviously punting the ball. I understand that.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a chance to, get that 35 or that 40-yard attempt.
Yeah. No, we haven't. We're not confident enough yet, and actually we'll be without our kicker as well. He got hurt in the soccer game, so it only gets better.
Hold on. Do you bring in a new soccer player when that happens, or how does this work?
Now we just go to Steven
Okay.
Ryder. Mr. Everything. He's
Okay.
doing a little bit of everything. But
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
Nothing
but
wrong with that.
honestly, special team wise, our punt game has actually been really good for us, and it helps having Steven as one of the gunners and Moreland on the other side as the gunners getting downfield, and Braylon's averaging 34.5, averaging punting, and he's doing a really good job for us. And for the record, when they made that hole, that would have been a momentum swing where it hit their one of their corners.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we watched the video. I watched it with Denny All, who's an official, and all the other officials said, yeah, they screwed that call up. So it goes from them giving us the ball to like they just switched it. They
Everything
just
switched
overruled.
around.
Yeah,
Right,
after we
right.
were already out there
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, I forgot
And
about. Yeah.
It was different, but that's a momentum swing. I thought that would have been great for our punt team. To recover another fumble, and it didn't happen. And we haven't been. We don't have right now a Jadrian Brown to break something on the punt return or kick return right now. So, and we have some freshmen playing on our special teams now that will help with effort.
but also help for the future,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep. If we got an opportunity to use them and get some of our older kids off, that's what we're going to do.
Is speaking of Jalen Brown, is he expected to be a little bit more in the offensive capacity or no?
Jadrian?
Brown. Jadrian. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Jadrian's gone.
Oh,
He
okay.
graduated.
Not Jadrian.
You're talking talent.
Talons. Thank
Talon?
you.
Hey, Scott's
so many
old.
doggone
He's old.
Browns.
Don't worry about it.
There
Every
is
time I
somebody-
turn around, there's Browns
Yeah.
and Liggins and Sims. Oh my! I mean, that's what you see.
Talent will be all right. He's still coming off an ankle injury that he's had really all year. And he's tough kid, and we need him, at the running back position. Obviously, we believe he's the best running back in the conference. So anytime we can get him on the offensive side, it's better for Fremont.
Awesome.
Let's talk about these 5 guys you brought with you. We'll start with Cade.
Cade Reinick,
Yep.
linebacker, heart and soul of the defense. Good player, leader, vocal.
All right, Talon Brown.
Talon's a tough kid, plays both ways. Best running back in the conference, best defensive end in the conference. A kid that sacrifices his body all the time.
What about Steven?
Steven, the little dynamite. Little Tina is what we call him. He's like, the Tasmanian devil.
Yes.
You know what I mean? How
Yes.
he's like all over the place. That's Steven Ryder. And he's a game changer. You get him the ball and just let him run. He's a track kid. Was on the state team that placed, I don't know, 5th, I think, or something on a relay, and runs a 10.8.6, 10.8.700.
That's what I used to run in high school.
Yeah,
too.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did Cole.
So did Cole.
So did Cole.
So did Cole. Speaking of Cole,
Of course, I was Cole's size in high school. Not the tallness, but the wideness
Yeah,
part. Yes.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yes. But talk about Cole, a big 6'4",
Yeah.
350-pounder
Cole
there.
Myers, that's the guy in the trenches that does the dirty work. He's a hard kid to move. I've been around some really good football players on O-line, D-line, with Ethan Green, London Johnson, Dontrez Brown. That kid's a monster, and he plays both sides of the ball. And he's the anchor in the middle, and you're not running in the middle when Cole Myers is in there. And then on the offensive side, well, when he's there, we want to run behind him because
Right.
he'll take up 2 guys easily. So he's a monster. He's a good kid, and just a really good leader.
Well, Coach, before we bring the guys up, anything else you want to – obviously we want to pack the stands at Don Paul this week for homecoming.
So this week on Friday we have Veterans Day, and Miss Gallagher is setting this up, so it's going to be a really, really cool thing. Any veterans, please get a hold of Gallagher H at FremontSchools.net if you are interested in wanting to go. You can, if you are a veteran, you're allowed to bring in a guest, and you'll get a hot dog and chips and drinks and stuff like that. But it's a really, really cool thing, tribute to the veterans, and it's going to be really cool.
And what's that email one more time?
Gallagher H at FremontSchools.net.
That's great. You're doing that for the veterans. And, of course, we thank you for your service, everyone out there who's listening, who served. Scott, any more questions for Coach before we get to the boys?
I guess we'll talk about Finley after the boys, or are we going to talk about Finley?
We can talk Finley now.
We can talk Finley now. Okay.
Actually, why don't we
Tell
do
us-
this? Why don't we bring the boys up and then
Okay.
we'll bring Chad back? Let's
Okay,
do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll start with Cole. We're going backwards. All right, you come over here.
You want me to come over?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right. All right, we'll just do this. All right, we're going to do, usually I go from smallest jersey number to biggest, but we're going to start with bigger jersey number to smaller. We'll let Cole get his headset on there. Hopefully it'll fit him. 6'4", 350-pound senior Cole Myers for the little giant. Cole, can you hear me okay? Yes, sir. All right, get that up there so we can hear you. That's better. All right, so going into your senior year, what were your goals individually coming into this year?
Basically, play every snap, win every game. That's all that mattered to me. I want to win every game. That's all that mattered to me. Win playoff games. Leave a history that no one else has left.
Obviously, there has not been a lot of playoff wins in Ross football history. It'd be nice to get on a little run here. And with your schedule the way it is, this would be a nice win to get you maybe a home playoff game over a Division I team.
Yes, it would. I think we can win every game from here on out, no matter who we play. I think they're all winnable games.
When you look at film, obviously you look at things differently from skill guys because you're in the trenches. So when you're looking at film, what are some of the things you're looking at as an offense and defensive lineman?
Basically, their tells what they want to do, what they like to do the most. Most of the time, they give away what they want to do, basically, as a defense. So you want to look for those and basically take advantage.
How much film do you watch in a week?
As much as possible, of course, as much as possible.
Your opponent this week for Finley is a bigger guy, smaller guy? What?
They're all small to me, of course. But, yeah, their ends are pretty big dudes, but their guy in the middle is pretty small, honestly. He's not that big.
Okay. And Cole, what do you hope to do after graduation?
Work my butt off, provide for my family. That's all I need to do.
That's awesome. Scott, questions for Cole?
Yeah, the first thing I want to say is congratulations on last week's performance. You were the Fremont Ross Athletic Booster Club Player of the Game,
Thank you, sir.
and as well as Terra State College Player of the Game.
Thank
The
you.
unfortunate thing is we didn't have the material to get you, but we will get that to you.
Yeah.
I've been promised that through Mr. Kern,
Yeah.
John Kern, and so we will get that to you. So you mentioned everybody's smaller than you,
Yeah.
but sometimes are they a little bit quicker than you?
Yeah,
also?
definitely.
So is it? So when you're up against that kind of guy, whether he's the bigger guy or the smaller guy, which do you prefer to be up against?
Well, obviously bigger guys, because little guys, I would say, have the advantages against me because their speed kills, obviously. I feel like I struggle with littler guys, of course, so I focus on trying to limit my mistakes as much as possible and getting my hands on where I know I can win.
Do you prefer the offense or the defense?
Probably defense, because you get to tackle, you get to hit people, and there's less thinking, in my opinion, on defense. That's why I like it more.
Great.
Which did you prefer?
Which did I prefer?
Yeah.
Offense. I like the ball in my hand, so that's just the way it went.
All right. Cole, any shout-outs you want to do real quick?
Coach Mackey wanted me to shout him out, and also Coach White. Love you, Coach White.
All right. Thank you, Cole.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you.
All right, we'll bring up Steven next. So, Steven Ritter coming up. He is a 5'9", 165-pound senior. Or as we heard.
He reminds me so much of myself.
What's that?
Yeah. Wide receiver.
Nice hair.
Decent speed. Mine was curly. So,
Have you seen
know.
Scott's hair in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, heck no. Don't
So-
go there.
If you go into the Ross Hall of Fame, okay, in I don't know, it was early. It was like before they
I
had
graduated in
80, what was it?
I graduated in 80.
Anyway, look at his picture. Beautiful hair. Just as good as
Afro.
yours. So, all right, Steven, what were your goals coming into the year?
Well, I wasn't big. Like last year, I didn't score any touchdowns. I wasn't really a key part of the offense or anything like that. I was more just like a blocking slot receiver. So I just came in thinking I want to do a little more, be a little more big part of it. You know, maybe score some touchdowns.
Right.
Like that'd be kind of cool. And I think I'm achieving that for the first part of the season. But that's kind of the goals coming in, just to be a little bigger part.
And obviously, you've done that so far, and that's been a big part. What was the team goals? I forgot to ask heading into the season. I forgot to ask Cole the team goals.
Yeah. We just want to win. I don't know how else to explain it. Last year we should have won a lot more than we should have, or than we did. We went 5-5 last year, something like that. And we know we should have won more. And we think it's more because of mental. Like we had the physical abilities, but it was the mental that weighed on it a lot. But this year we were coming in trying to win a lot more, and I think the mental was a lot better just because we're in the winning mentality and we're all a lot closer. So I think we're a lot better attitude than last year.
Stephen, so far 17 catches, 116 yards, and you said you wanted to get in the end zone so far twice,
Yep.
and hopefully many more times. A couple against Finley would be nice
Yeah.
on Friday. So I tend to ask the kids, or have over the years, do you feel that Sandusky is more of a rival or Finley? What do you feel?
It really just depends on the year. I think Finley's a harder rival. Like I feel like they're definitely both rivals, but Finley's definitely more of a competition. Like it was close games like a couple years ago, last year, but this year we kind of killed them. So I think it's more of a rival against Finley this year, but it just depends on the year because it's just more competition, more more rivalry,
Right.
more beef.
Scott?
So congratulations to you. You were Booster Club Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Week 1 against Tiffin Columbian, and he also received the Terra State College bag, which will be given to Mr. Cole Myers. And so you do play a little bit of defense.
No.
You don't play any defense
No
at all?
defense,
Punt
no.
return?
Yeah. Oh, no, kick return.
Kick return. Okay.
Kickoff, kick return.
Okay. So what do you like so much about kick return?
Well, if one got blocked forward, I like running fast. That's my strong suit, so I get full speed and use my abilities the best I can.
So being what's normally a call that your special teams coach, or maybe even Coach Long calls, return right, left, or up the middle? What's normally the cadence on that?
It's usually middle.
So he lets you pick and choose wherever you go from the middle, whatever you see open?
It's usually black middle, so you want to fake the outsides, each side, but it's just kind of whatever's open when the chance comes.
Okay, great.
All right,
all I
Stephen, what are you doing after graduation?
I want to run track in college.
Okay.
Wherever college, I have to run the track season. Cut some time down to see a little better offers than what I have now, and then I want to be a mechanical engineer.
That's awesome, man. Who do you want to
Nice.
shout out?
Coach K,
Okay.
our receiver coach, Coach Kalaja, he used to play. He's definitely runs our camps like a boot camp. He's called K Boot Camp, and it's definitely pushed us a lot farther than we were at the beginning. We definitely got a lot better because of that. It's hard, but it's definitely worth it.
It's wonderful to see, like, coaches push you and you to accept that and also enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's like old school, like back in our day, right,
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah, that's true.
We had no choice. We had to like it back then. But anyway, Stephen, congratulations on a great year so far. How about 6-7 more touchdowns? That sound good?
Yeah.
Start 2 for Friday.
Yeah.
We'll go.
You'll
for
still, yeah, that's good. All right. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Good luck.
All right, let's bring up Talon next. All righty. And then we'll finish with Cade, and then we'll bring Coach back up. But again, the Ross and Finley game will be right here on Eagle 99 Friday night. We are live from Frickers in Fremont, where we are each and every Wednesday. And it is Fremont Ross night. Talon Brown joining us now, 5'11", 200 pounds. Senior Talon, how are you, and how's your senior year going?
I'm good. It's not going as planned right now, but
And tell us why that is.
we wanted to go at least 9-1, 9-1, but we got 2 losses right
That's
now.
all right. But now you be 8-2, still make the playoffs, right? So,
Yeah.
Talon, what was your individual goals coming into the year?
Let's get a lot of yards and touchdowns.
And so far, you've been doing that very well. You got some big bodies that you run behind, right?
Yeah.
What about your offensive line? What's so special about them, other than the fact they're huge?
They can keep going and just not stop and not give up.
They
throughout the
punish
game.
people,
Yeah.
and you like that?
Yeah.
So far this year, Talon has 50 attempts, 284 rushing yards in the first couple games as we head into Week 5 against Finley. Scott, questions for Talon?
Yeah, obviously you've been a little hindered by the ankle, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's treatment going with that?
It's going good. Hurts most of the time, but I can push through it, especially during practice.
So obviously, I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to say you prefer offense than defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. The last name Brown again. There's been a lot of Browns that have been through Fremont Ross High School. So what is it that what excites you the most about Friday Night Lights?
Probably the environment and the energy it brings.
So I'm assuming that you have a lot of fans, a lot of relatives that come and watch you at the game, or friends of friends. You know, they know the Brown family pretty well.
Yeah.
You seem he's very reserved.
He is very
I
reserved.
can tell.
Yes.
So
But
he
he's the
seems
kind
like-
of guy who gets out on that football field
Yeah,
and
and
he
it's
just
a different
opens right up.
story.
Yeah, he's a
It's
different guy. I could
story.
tell. Yep.
Yeah, you can tell you're a little reserved, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, believe me. But once you get between the lines, you know, it's a different atmosphere, and you take a different attitude than being obviously off the field, which is great. And it was one thing that I did notice in talking to Chad. This is the first year that I can remember that there's no captains this year.
Right.
And that says a lot about the senior class, especially that, like, you know, what's a captain? Okay, we go out for what? For the coin flip, you know, but that means there must be good unity within the group. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, Talon, who you want to shout out?
Kylan Sims, Raylan Roberts.
All right, and what are you hoping to do after graduation?
I want to play football in college.
Okay.
And I don't know about the major.
Okay.
part yet.
Well, you got plenty of
Yeah,
time
plenty
for
of
that.
time to figure
We
that
just
out.
care about the football part right now. So, all right, buddy. Guess best of luck.
Thank you.
And thank
Good
you.
luck Friday.
All right, Cade, we'll finish it off here. I think this is the first time we've ever gone backwards on the numbers. Isn't
I think
it?
so.
It's kind of nice, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Cade Reineck, 6'2", 205 senior. And leading the team right now, Cade in tackles, 31 solos, 13 assists, 2 tackles for loss, 1 caused fumble, and 2 pass breakups. Not a bad year so far. 4 weeks in. What's your favorite memory so far of the season?
Beating Columbian for sure on senior night.
Okay, that's awesome. Good way to start it. Been a while since you've beaten Columbian, right?
Yeah.
So coming into the year, Cade, what was your goals? I'm assuming, were they more defensive goals?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about those.
Well, my goal was to compete with Mason Villarreal's single-season tackle record.
And what is the single-season tackle record?
I think it's 139.
Okay. So we got some work to do.
Oh, yeah.
That's
For
all
sure,
right.
always.
You get a 20 tackle game, you're right back in it. So talk about what you saw with Findlay on film this week. What's your biggest challenge going to be when they're on offense?
They like to run a lot of screens, it looks like. I don't know. I'm just trying to tackle them.
When you are seeing the screen, what's your defensive key then?
Depends on the coverage. More than likely, always keep the ball going inside.
Okay. Push it back into the middle, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where those big bodies are?
Oh, yeah, where everyone's at.
Scott?
So I know you do play a little tight end, right?
Not really.
Not really? It's one of these days I got to get coach to throw the ball to the tight end. I don't know. And I know. He just shakes his head. No. So defense, obviously, you're more defensive-minded than anything else. So you guys have quite a tandem. And there's nothing greater than, obviously, getting a quarterback sack. Have you had a chance to lay a lick on a couple of them this year?
I haven't got one yet.
Not yet. Not yet. But it's in the back of your head, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing better than getting a guy from the blind side or something and popping the ball loose and getting a turnover. You're a senior, so 1, 2, 3. You haven't beaten Findlay then since you've been a little giant from freshman on up. You might have beat them in a JV game. I'm not so sure about that, or maybe even in 8th grade. But so it's nothing better than to get a chance to take your rival down on Friday night. And I had told a lot, Chad and a few other people, I said it last Friday. I said, all I know is that Fremont Ross is going to beat Findlay next Friday night.
Absolutely.
And not even talking to the coach and so forth, and we'll talk about their team and so forth after we're done here. But I have all the faith in the world, and there's a lot of people that are around the area that are rooting for Fremont, and a lot of people from Fremont that have taken back and gone and lived in Findlay. The name Widman is a big name in Findlay from years and years in football and in baseball and so forth. But there are a lot of little giants down there, believe me. And good luck to you on Friday night.
Thank you.
And who do you want to shout out?
My DC, Cade Long, and my linebacker coach.
All right, and Cade, what's up for you after graduation?
I don't really know yet. Still trying to figure that out.
All right, well, you got time.
Yeah.
Do you maybe want to play football, sports, or you don't know?
Might play football, might play baseball, or I might just go work.
Okay. Well, like I said, you got your whole senior year to figure it out. So, All right, Cade, thank you very much. We appreciate it. All right, let's bring Coach back up. Do you want to flip back to the?
Sure, I'm used to that.
As we get ready, I do want to thank Cade and Talon and Stephen, obviously, and Cole for being with us here on Fremont Ross Little Giant Night. And we'll bring Chad back in here as we talk about the Trojans who will invade Don Paul Stadium on Friday night. But let me first of all say what a great group of seniors you have there, and very pleasurable to talk to, as always.
Yeah, they're good kids, and they represent our football team to the finest, and I'm happy they were able to come and talk to you guys.
They were all outstanding, and what else? I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else from a Chad Long coach team. So let's talk about Findlay a little bit, some X's and O's. Division I opponent once again this week for the third straight week. What's your biggest, let's say defensively against their offense, what's your number one key going to be?
What quarterback's in the game? They go with a 2-quarterback system. We got to stop the slips, the screens, the jailbreaks. They do a lot of the short game, not so much deep down the field.
Kind of what Cade was talking about there?
Yeah,
the screen game.
I wasn't hearing them,
but
screen game is huge for Findlay. They always try slipping and doing a bunch of things. A lot of things will occur inside on their sideline or into the boundary, so their linemen can get out there. If we can eliminate that, I really don't believe they're going to be able to run the ball on us, but we'll see on that. But it'll be interesting to see what they try doing against what we're going to do against them.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It'll be a matchup
I don't want to
thing.
ask you about your offensive, game plan. I want you to just give that out. So, Scott, what do you got?
No, you made mention that I'll start from the beginning. It seems like at the beginning of the season, I really thought our defense, especially in the secondary, was a little more groomed, but because they grew up last year a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it seems like all of a sudden that's a little bit of our Achilles heel.
Right. I mean, a lot against Perrysburg and against Whitmer, they were hitting the bubbles, the nows and stuff like that. We just need to slide our linebackers out a little bit more in those regards. We were giving up the dinks and the dunks, with that. I honestly, I still believe this is the best secondary. I tell the guys this all the time. In the 13 years I've been there at Fremont. And the thing is, they're not performing to our expectations yet. They will be fine. They just got to start making plays. And, I don't know if they're just scared to make a mistake or what, but, we told them, Coach Bender, who's the secondary coach, has been on them. Make plays. Don't just be there. Make a play. So hopefully that'll correlate over to Friday night.
So, being in the secondary and so forth, it seems like you made mention that this is not that you feel one of the best athletic Findlay teams that you've seen, especially running the football. It seems like they always have a smash mouth or a guy that's throwing the ball and whipping it around.
Yeah. So their quarterback that started the year broke his collarbone against the Pennsylvania team.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, they've been going with a 2-quarterback system, and a lot of it's just dink and dunk. Not a lot of run, honestly, and that's different. That's not Findlay football. Mm-hmm. And, I think their size is down a little bit on the offensive line, which is a surprise because they've always been huge.
Sure.
And, it's just not the same Findlay teams that we have seen in the past.
So do you expect, obviously, are you taking your defense and you're tightening things up a little bit, you think, or are you going to still play back?
Yes. As far as what they do, yes. Between my brother Ray and Cade coming up with the game plans for what we're going to do, they do a fine job. doing that, and we'll be ready for just about anything they try throwing at us. They do run a lot of empty, but it's a different style of empty. They'll usually have a bump and an empty. They'll get a two-back set, and when they're in a two-back set, they typically want to run the ball.
Right.
So they kind of show their hand.
Okay.
All right, Chad. Well, best of luck. We'll have the game, of course, Friday night right here on Eagle 99. We thank you for bringing the kids out tonight. And these are for you, by the way.
Okay.
Wish
Thank
I had
you.
more, but they didn't give me enough. So
Yeah,
just
that's
so you know, not my problem. Not my fault. It is my problem. It's not my fault. So,
that's
okay. All right. Let's thank all of our guests. Scott, thank you for being here, too, buddy.
Oh, it's
Appreciate
been good.
it.
It's first time back this year, and they had a lot of fun, that's for sure.
And you actually sat on the right side. Josh is very happy with you because you sat over here and we didn't see your backside.
Yeah.
All right. Let's thank all of our guests here tonight. First of all, let's thank our videographer, Josh Frederick, doing a great job. And Aiden Klein back there at the studios running the dials. On Friday night, we have a doubleheader for you. It'll be Clyde at Port Clinton on 92.1 The Wolf. And here on Eagle 99, Ross and Findlay. Pregame show Friday night, 6:30. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Nick will be back with you next week for another Frickers of Fremont High School football coaches show. Tune in every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock live here from Frickers and, of course, on Eagle 99 and live on our YouTube page for Eagle 99 WFRO. Thanks to all our coaches, Josh Waring from St. Joe, Scott Stacker of Woodmore, Matt Fluelling of Clyde, and, of course, Chad Long, along with Stephen Ryder, Cade Reinick, Talon Brown, and Cole Myers. And for Scott Logan, I'm Kyle Knight. We'll talk to you next week from the Frickers of Fremont High School Football Coaches Show.